Hey guys, I got a new video. So this video is going to be all about gem leveling. Um, Basically, one of the most common questions I get asked, what gems do you level? Specifically for Simulacrum and this kind of stuff. So this video we're going to go over my approach on gem leveling. I think it will help you guys out, learning about what gems to level and different strategies you can use for leveling your gems. I'm not going to tell you what gem to level specifically, because I think everyone should be researching this on your own. Shouldn't really just be leveling a gem because, you know, someone said go level this gem. Rather than that, we'll talk about how you can find the gem to level and different leveling strategies. So there is quite a few actually that you can do. So let's just first get into the guide. So I made this very easy paint document here. We'll go over. Okay, so first of all, how do I level gems? So maybe if you're just getting into leveling gems, there is a few items you're probably going to need to do it very effectively. Alright, so you can level gems in your offhand. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this. And what I like to do is I like to have a white socket bow and a Maloney's mechanism. So this quiver gives us another 3 sockets, so in total we get 9 gems to level, which is probably, you know, it's a very good amount of gems. So a couple of tips on buying your bow. So you can see this bow, it's a thicket bow, which usually has quite a high dex requirement, but what you can do is you can alteration spam on this reduced attribute requirements, and then as you can see it's taken it all the way down to 146 dex requirement, so I'm able to actually use the bow. So that's something you can do. So if you look on trade, actually these 6 socket bows with low attribute requirements, like low dex requirement, are actually pretty expensive, whereas the ones with a high dex requirement are a lot cheaper. So you can just buy a you know, just any 6 wide socket bow, and then just you know, use alterations and get yourself that reduced attribute requirement and have a very cheap bow for leveling. Okay, and after that, for the quiver, I guess in this league you can use that omen to try to get wide sockets on the bow, but at this point in the league, I think it's cheaper just to have different colored bows. So you can just buy 3 bows, 1 blue, 1 green, 1 red. Right now I'm only doing blue and green, so I only have 2, but whichever one you want. Usually it's probably cheaper just to buy another bow. They're like 20 chaos, right? So just buy another bow, color it 1 blue, 1 green, 1 red, right? So that's the gem leveling setup we're going to be doing. Okay, so what gems do I level? The big, you know, question. And short answer is, well, you can level whatever gem you want. You're probably not going to lose money, and I'm pretty sure you're wondering what is the best gem for profit, and I can't really tell you because these kind of things change all the time. First of all, they change during the course of the league. The value of certain gems will increase or decrease. Really depends on what builds are being played. I guess there is always a few gems that will always maintain their value, or the value will go up, but this is how I, what do you call it, choose my gems. So generally, I use the Poe Ninja website, and I'll go through the gems. You can check the prices of the current gems in this league, and then you can actually also go to other leagues. So if I wanted to see what gems were popular last league, we can go check that out. And then you can look at the let's look at some awakened gems. We can look at non-corrupt ones. Let's look at some awakened gems, level 5. Alright, so what was the most expensive gems? Right, you can see probably, like, you know, Awakened Multi-Strike and that kind of stuff, but what about some more affordable ones? Like, what about some gems we could sell for, you know, a pretty good profit? There's like Awakened Cast on Crit, Awakened Void Manipulation. So what about this one here? Awakened Void Manipulation. Let's actually go look this up. So this is kind of the process I go through when I'm choosing a gem. So we can see that the non-corrupt 520 is going for about 400 chaos, so it's about 2 divines. So let's do this, and then let's check all the levels. Alright, so you can see we can actually just buy the Awakened Void Manipulation for 70 chaos, and then level it up. I don't really think it's actually going to sell for this much, but as you can see, you can kind of see how much profit you're going to be making on average. I think it also kind of jumped up towards the last part of the league, so let's look a little bit closer, maybe around here. They were going for about 1 divine-ish, basically. So that seems actually a little bit more accurate. So you can see if we go back to where we were, we buy it for about maybe like 70, 80 chaos, and then when we level it up, we can sell it for 1 divine. So that's about I don't know, let's just say 0.5 divine profit per gem, and then we're leveling 9, so we get about 4.5 divines per round of leveling, right? So this is kind of how I calculate if a gem is worth leveling. It's also important to look at the price history, right? So if you buy all of your gems to level, like say around here, but then it ends up taking you a whole day or 2 to level them, then by the time you sell them, the price is kind of dropping, right? So around this point in the league, it's pretty safe to level. Usually week 3, week 4, but do keep in mind the actual like price trends, because if it takes you too long to level the gem, then you're gonna end up losing a little bit of money, or potentially losing money, right? Okay, so this is how I'm choosing my gems. I'm using the Poe Ninja website, basically just to kind of see the how much the gem costs, the base gem, and then how much I can sell it for uncorrupted, right? Okay, so that's how you find your gems. Now there is a lot of gems, obviously, and there's a gem for every budget, everyone's budget. So find a gem that you can buy into, and usually all of them are going to have profit, right? So if you are not corrupting your gem, you just level it up and sell it, you're going to be making profit. So don't really worry too much about it. Just find a gem that has a good, often you can find ones that are very cheap, like they're only a couple of chaos, like 40-50 chaos, but then at level 5 they're a divine, so that's pretty nice, especially these awakened gems, right? Okay, so this is how you choose your gems. Don't just level a gem because someone said so, but go and actually research yourself. You can save yourself a lot of profit loss, potentially, and you'll probably learn a lot. And this kind of doing it this way is going to you'll never have to ask anyone, what gem do I level, because you'll just know, right? You know how to find it. This league, next league, 10 leagues from now, PoE 2, doesn't really matter, having this information is very important, not just for gem leveling, I guess, but for almost any kind of, if you're looking to like flip items and that kind of stuff too, right? You have to be researching this stuff on your own, and so this is where you get your data. Okay, so next we're going to go over a couple of strategies that I use personally, and that they all work. I've never really lost money doing these. I've always profited, and yeah, so let's get into it. So strat 1. So this is something I like to do early league. We're going to use alternate quality gems, and then we're going to level them, and we're going to take them into the Alpha Temple. And I like to do this along with a Locust of Corruption with the Doriani's Institute, so we can do a double corrupt on a body armor or something, and then at the same time level a gem. So in this case, what I like to do is I like to use gems that have a vol version. So let's just go back to these gems, and why we do this is pretty important. So let's just see. Let's go to all gems. I guess we can't really see. Okay, let's look at some of these gems. Do we have it over here? Okay, so let's take the Phantasmal Vol Smite. Okay, so even if you get a 2020 Vol Smite, Phantasmal Smite, it's still gonna be profit, basically. And that's kind of the case with a lot of these Vol Gems, the alternate quality Vol Gems, is people want them for the alternate quality, and they also want the Vol version, right? So a lot of times people on a budget will just buy the 2020 Vol, right? And you can always pretty much profit from doing this. It's going to cover the cost of the gem, the temple, and you're going to make a few divines on the side. So if you get about 9 of these and do 9 temples, you're be making quite a bit of money. So this gets a little bit less valuable later on, or maybe mid-league, I'd say. I mean, you can still do it and make profit, but mainly the main thing is the price of the Alpha Temple really goes up quite a bit. Early league, you can get both rooms for like, I don't know, 70, 80 chaos, right, per temple, so that's pretty cheap. Later on the league, they'll go up quite a bit. So anyways, this is the first strat I like to do. So along with this, actually, I like to do, I didn't really write it here, but I like to just do normal alt gems. So a good example is going to be the gems like Anomalous Wrath. There's like the Divergent Malevolence, I think, like that. The Aura gems. So I'll just level a bunch of these up because these cost like 20-30 C early on in the league. So you can just buy a whole bunch with Chaos, level them up, and then just vol them. And if you're voling 9 gems at once, pretty high chance that at least one of them is going to go to 21. That's another strat I like to use. Okay, so first one, and as far as the Locust of Corruption, so this is like another bonus, right? It's a nice thing to do if you do them both in one, because if the gem bricks, you're still going to be making, a little bit of profit, and you'll be able to cover your losses with the Doriani's Institute, and then you just basically get a free Locust of Corruption. So you can do a lot of cool armors. I like to do the Doriani's Prototype. It's because, I'm usually running Armor Stacker on the prototype version around that time. And, I do want to get those +2 or, +4 armors. I mean, you can do pretty much any armor. You can use the same method as we use to look up our gem. You can go look at the body armors, see which ones are being used. And then you can just buy a bunch of those and corrupt them. Okay. So another strategy, this one is, it's going to take a little bit longer to level your gems, but, oh yeah, so one thing I should mention is how long does it take to level these gems. For me, doing wave 30 Simulacrum, the alt quality gems usually take about two Simulacrums to go to level 20. That's usually because they start at level 16 or 17, or 16, I think, yeah. So about 2 to 3, let's just say 2 to 3 Simulacrums to get these all the way to level 20, so it's very fast. And you can just be pumping these gems out, and it's it's a crazy money maker. Okay, so strat number 2, cheap woke gems, and we're gonna sell them at 5.0. Okay, so what are the cheap awakened gems? Well, they're like the flat added damage ones, like the added lightning damage is very popular. Added cold damage can be popular. Basically any kind of gem that you can buy in chaos, like under 50 chaos, preferably at this point in the league they're like 10-15 chaos, and then you just level them up and you flip and you just sell them uncorrupted and you get back quite a bit of chaos. It's not really all that profitable. It's probably get the least profit from doing this, but if you don't have a lot of money, this is probably one of the easier ones to get into. It does take quite a while to level these up if you're doing Simulacrum. Wave 30, 5 to 6 reward bars per wave. It's going to take maybe about 15 Simulacrums, so it does take quite a long time. Okay, strat 3. This is going to be Enhance in Power. Really depends on the league, which one is popular, so do your research. Go, check the prices. of the level 4 this time. We'll check how much the level 4 goes for, how much we can buy the base gem for, and make a decision based on that information. Alright, and we're going to be voling all of these at the end. You can opt into selling them non-volled level 3. But yeah, I think it's better just to vol these because they're pretty cheap. Okay, Strat 4 is going to be the Enlightened. And Enlightened, this is a little bit of a tricky one. For me, I think the best method I found so far is just to not corrupt these, and we sell them in bulk. So how do we do this? Well, we just buy the Enlightens, we level them up. And then we go over to TFT, and you can see, like this guy here, he's selling all of his Enlightens at 2 divine each. People will come and buy them from you in bulk, and you can make quite a lot of money, very safe. You're not going to lose any money doing it. I found when I actually did corrupt my own gems, you know, sometimes you get lucky, you get a couple of the level 4s, but then sometimes you don't, and all of them brick, and the bricks don't sell, so you're going to be losing money sometimes. So it's kind of a gamble. You can choose to corrupt them if you want, if you're adventurous. And the reason I like to corrupt the Enhance and Empower is because they're just so cheap. Like the base gem is so cheap, I'm not really losing that much. If I even if I brick all of them, it doesn't really feel that bad because they only cost a few chaos per gem. But Enlightens, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, and if you get like 2 unlucky sessions in a row, then I mean that's pretty unlucky if that happens, but you could be in a bit of trouble if that happens. So definitely, if you want to take the safe route, you're not going to lose any money doing it this way, selling them in bulk. So it's kind of the same idea of selling Watcher's Eyes un-ID'd, stuff like that. You can go for the consistent profit, or you can go for the gamble. It's up to you. But yeah, this kind of guide is going to be about, you know, strats that actually make you money, that are kind of fail-proof, you know, you could say, right? So I recommend you just sell in bulk. All right, so strat number 5, Awakened Gems, vol at 520. So this one is something I like to do with a little bit more expensive gems. Usually at the point in the league where I have a lot of money that I can spend on these gems. So let's go over a few gems. There is quite a few that are like, say you buy them at, I'm not going to really tell you the gem. I guess I can tell you what I've been doing recently. So there's a few, like even just the added lightning damage ones, those are okay. But like, so where was that gem? So there is the cast on grit gem, right? So gems like this, they cost about 120, 140 C. You buy them, you level up, you quality to 20, and then you corrupt them all. And usually, you know, 1 out of, if you're doing 9 gems at once, very high chance you get at least 1 to level 6, and that sells for like 8 to 10 divines. And then the bricks that are the 520, they sell for 1 divine. So either way, even if you brick it and nothing happens, you still make profit. If it goes to level 4, well then you can still sell it for about 150, 160, 180. I've even sold them for like 200 chaos, right? So even if you completely brick, you're not going to lose money. So, you know, I bought it at 120 C. I bricked it, it's level 420. I still sold it for 200 chaos. And so same example, this level 5 quality went down to 13. I'm still able to actually sell that for about, you know, 180, 160 chaos. Someone's going to eventually come around and buy it. So you're not really ever going to lose money even on your bricks. And when you do hit a level 6, you do make quite a bit of money. There was a couple of times where I got like 3 level 6s out of 9 gems. It's extremely lucky, but yeah, so you don't really need to do cast on crit. Just do some gem that is very popular and where the 520 is more is still actually worth it, you know. So we still stand to make a little bit of money on the 520s, and stuff like that. All right, so this is going to be the last one, is profit leveling expensive gems. So when you do have a lot of money, this is something that's extremely profitable. So let's go back to our skill gems. Let's take a look at Awaken Enlightened. Or let's look at the Awaken Empower. And let's look in the current league. Okay, so Awaken Empower, 38 Divines. Awaken Empower level 4, 41 Divines. Well, 41, 42, maybe 40. Let's just say 40, right? Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can already see that there is some kind of profit going on here. So that, let's just say 2 Divines per gem that we level. And I don't really think you could probably do 9 of these. I mean, maybe some of you guys can, but there isn't really even that many on the market. But let's just say we did 9. And we made 2 Divines per, so it's 18 Divines per round of leveling. Not just this gem, but there is other ones you can do. Like, let's just say, let's look at Multi-Strike. Awaken Multi-Strike. So, Awaken Multi-Strike, 35 Divines-ish. And level 5. 38 Divines. So you make about 38, 39. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell the price here, but let's just say we make, it's about the same number. See, 35, maybe a little bit more, 3 to 4 Divines per gem. So obviously these are pretty expensive, and for most people, you know, leveling 9 of these is kind of out of the question. But same thing applies for other cheaper gems. So let's just see. The Awakened gems usually have the best flip value when you're doing this kind of strat, because often the level 5 version of the gem has some kind of additional effect. Like, say, for the added lightning damage, it has +1 to all lightning skills, or, you know, and stuff like that. And a lot of builds, people making new builds, re-rolling, they need that extra little bit of power. Or some of it's even build enabling and stuff like that. So they will buy the leveled gem. They don't really want to spend days leveling a gem from level 1 all the way to level 5. So that's why the Awakened gem, like, kind of level flip is very profitable. Let's see if we can find a good Awakened gem. Okay, so let's see. Let's look for Not Corrupt, and we'll go for Awakened. Let's see, that's something what's a little bit more affordable. So let's just see, for example, Awakened Chain, 3.9 Divines. Let's just say 4 Divines. Well, this is about 0.5 Divine Profit, I guess. Oh, no, wait. Oh yeah, a bit more. So you see, Awakened Chain, 3.9. And then the leveled version is 5.4. Now, these prices probably aren't all that accurate, but you could see we are still making about 1 Divine profit, so that's 9 Divines, or maybe a little bit more, if you count in like the 0.4 or whatever, right? So you can do this with a lot of different gems, and obviously the more expensive the gem, the more profit you stand to make. But this is another very foolproof profit maker for when you're leveling up your gems. Some of these are still very affordable to get into, like you can buy these Awaken Increase Area Effect for 2.1 Divine each, and then resell them for 3.4. So you make, you know, one Divine, a couple of Divines extra. So that is going to be the final strategy. So there's probably a few more, but this is kind of the general strategies that I do and I see most people doing. You can choose whichever one you prefer. Maybe try out a few, see how they go for you. And remember, yeah, don't do something because someone told you, but, you know, do your own research, and make, you know, informed decisions based on the data you see. And yeah, you might make a couple of mistakes buying the gems, and that's something you learn. That's something I've definitely learned. But yeah, I hope this video was educational, helped you learn something about gem leveling. But yeah, it's going to be it for this one. I'll see you guys next time.